solutions for green, sustainable gifting, all made in India, all going through hands of beautiful artisans, something that will benefit you, benefit the planet, benefit also all our beautiful handicraft workers. So without any further ado, I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. Let's get started. Gift responsibly this Diwali. Eco-friendly festivities, brands making sustainable gifting stylish. Made in India, made with love. Celebrating sustainability this Diwali, the future of gifting. How do you ensure and how do you tell if your gift is actually environmentally conscious?
Speaking of the environment, we're going to be staying with the NCR region with our air quality alert. Delhi is choking already with AQI levels skyrocketing, and we haven't even reached Diwali yet. We'll be bringing you the numbers from across the region. We'll also be taking a look at Noida, at Gurgaon, where things are better but they're still hazardous. Breathe carefully, protect yourself. We're going to bring you all of the numbers so you can stay safe and stay informed.
And since it is Diwali, how about cleansing your mind, body and soul, including your house as well? Some vastu tips, how to renovate, rebalance, rejoice this season. Dr. Jay Madan is with us on the program to give you all the vastu tips and more.
And then we take you onto the road with a SUV face-off for your family. If you're looking to make a purchase, especially around Diwali time, what's the right car to go for? It's the battle of compact SUVs. Overdrive, as usual, brings you the verdict.
Also on the program today, some Hollywood glamour, the Kardashian sisters shine at the Academy Museum Gala, and of course from Kim, Kendall, Kylie, what exactly were the looks all about, who stole the show and just how? A detailed report. All right, it's day 2 of festival series, and today we are looking at stuff that is at the center of what half of all our festivals are really all about. It's about the most awaited thing. It requires a lot of thinking, requires money as well. So we are talking gifting, and the responsible thing to do this season is making sustainable choices. It's becoming a fantastic trend, and for all the good reasons. More and more people in India are realizing that gifts that we choose reflect our values, impact the planet as well. And also in the recent years, the sustainable market has seen a very impressive growth. Sample this. In the 12,000 crore corporate gifting market in India, growing at over 200% annually, there is an 80% preference for eco-friendly gifting. And the trend for conscious consumption is so dominant, and now that brands are solely focused on making stuff like this.
Right, corporate gifting and those numbers are a clear sign that we're seeing consumers more and more gravitate towards the idea of an eco-friendly option if they can have one. And sustainable gifting, and this is the thing we really want to emphasize today with our guests on the show in just a second, it's more than just going for a green product for the sake of it, right? It's about supporting local artisans, ethical brands, prioritizing not just the environment, but also a slow manufacturing process end to end. A consciously done process. So think handmade handicrafts, think zero waste products, gifting experiences, maybe instead of going for things. But by making these choices, you're obviously not only reducing waste, you're also celebrating the creativity, the lives of our communities. So this festive season, we're hoping you, like we've seen a number of these corporations do, we're hoping you embrace sustainable gifting just because you can make a positive impact while you're celebrating Diwali, New Year's that is also right around the corner. It's a perfect way to show that you care.
And the good part is that there are several options now available in the country, several made in India brands to actually pick from. And today we have on the program two representatives, two people who've really been talking about this and leading by example. Joining us is Samrit Burman. He's the founder of Burlap People. The Burlap People creates and develops handicrafted, eco-friendly bags. So we're talking about totes and handbags and backpacks, accessories, all made of burlap. And every year they collaborate with individuals, companies during the holiday season to create these sort of bespoke jute experiences. Also with us is Apurv, He's the head of marketing and sales at Fool.co. Fool, if you don't know by now, you should. It's a brand that comes with an ingenious idea of upcycling temple flower waste. It was founded in 2017 and the company engaged in collecting temple flowers that often you and I take to our favorite devotee. They get dumped in the rivers. They collect all of them, recycle them into beautiful incense sticks, other biodegradable products as well. So very glad to have both of you on the program today. Let me begin with Apurv. Apurv, there was a time when, not very long ago, when sustainable gifting was said to be quite boring. It was this one way to do the right thing, but perhaps didn't match the vibe of the festival season, didn't give you the same glam quotient, didn't make you very happy as well. That significantly has changed, won't you say?
Definitely. Yes.
Okay, we'll look to
19,
re-establish that
21st.
connection with Apurva. Apurva, we're losing you a little bit. Do we want to see if we still have the connection and if it's stable?
Yeah. Yeah. Is this better?
Yes, it seems like it's better. Go ahead.
Perfect.
Yeah, go ahead.
So way back in 2019, when we started out, we did our first Diwali gifting in 2019, and the only thought that we had was, let's try if people would accept our products as gifts. And then we did a market study. The first thing that we realized was that if we really have to give out a sustainable gift, it has to be a gift first and sustainable later. What I mean by that is that it should look like a gift. It should feel like a gift. It should the entire aesthetic of it should be something that a person would be very happy to give. And usually, what happens with gifting is the buyer is not the user of the product. It's someone else. So there has to be a perceived value attached along with it. So I think we invested a lot in the design and aesthetic and all of those things. So I'm seeing a lot of these brands now taking very conscious efforts on the aesthetics, the visual appeal of what they are making, and also while sticking true to their narratives of sustainability or how they are making their product. So I think that's a very positive change, and I'm really glad that sustainable brands are thinking about this, because just because you're sustainable, you're not going to be bought out as a gift. I think that's something that we've always believed.
Okay, Apurva, let's take those learnings. Let's go over now to the Burlap people. We'll go over to Samrid. And it's interesting, let me tell our viewers, you both have actually worked together in the sense that you've collaborated before on gift hampers, for example, for Diwali. Samrid, just tell us, take us behind the scenes. For a company, when it receives a corporate order around Diwali time, what does that actually look like? So do corporations come sit down with you, tell us, do they tell you, prove that you're sustainable? Are you already proved to be sustainable? What does that process look like? Do you develop gift ideas? How do you come out, immediately with 500 or 1,000 different bags? What does that look like behind the scenes?
Thank you for having me, first of all. So it's kind of changing, over the years. Corporates are becoming more aware, and they ask us a lot more questions about the kind of products we make and how or what makes it sustainable. But that is something that's come up recently, which was normally just a trend, and corporates were just trying to, jump on that bandwagon to get a sustainable gifting to have with their image. Now they are, trying to align it with their larger CSR goals and make sustainability a part of their internal and external value systems. So they do ask us questions about how or what makes products sustainable. But the challenge becomes that a lot of times this happens very close to the time that they need it. And for a brand like us that works with sustainability, that works with handcrafted products, creating products on a very quick timeline becomes very challenging because everything is handmade. So this is something that is very difficult to explain to corporates, also because, there's so much decision making. It has to go through like different levels. So that becomes a real challenge. So festive time, it becomes super hectic for us to trying to meet the demand of the individual consumers and cater to corporate gifting needs. So yeah, that becomes a big challenge.
Yeah. I see Apoorv smiling at that one, so sure there are some stories at that end as well. But Apoorv, I think, as a consumer, when I look at sustainable gifting, the biggest challenge for me today is the fact that I don't know if this is actually green. I don't know if this is actually sustainable because everybody loves to carry on the labels. In fact, there is this whole phenomena called greenwashing as well, right? So do you have some wisdom that you can share with us on how do you tell what is actually coming from completely recycled products, or there's a difference between sustainable and recycled and repurposed, etc. How do you tell?
Yeah, I think the first thing that one should really look for is some sort of certification. And those certifications should be not from, the kind of certifications that they have. Like for us, we've got the EcoCert and Fair Trade certification. It's not an easy certification by any means. There are like quarterly audits that happen. They assess the entire supply chain, right from the first ingredient to the last output. And getting these certifications is absolutely not easy. It's a very long process. Like it took us 2 years. So one should really proactively look for what kind of certification brands are mentioning on their websites or on their marketing material. I think that's the first sign. So if you don't see any certification, but someone claiming that they are natural and sustainable, for me, that's a bit of a red flag. The next thing that I sort of prefer is just go and do a quick check on how long have these people been around and what's the kind of social media validation that these people have gotten, whether it is on Instagram, on Facebook, because like say for example, the burlap people have been around for so long, have been doing their stuff. You can really see the effort on their Instagram or something, and honesty will always come through over a longer period of time. So fly-by-night operators, you will find many. So if you see an Instagram page which has been around for like a year or something, I'd sort of have a little bit of bias, do a little bit of a fact check before I go and place an order. Unlike a burlap or a fool, we've been around for 5-6 years. I mean, done something. There are reviews on Amazon, on our website, and everything. So do go and do it. Just itna sa ek fact check agar karoge, you'll know the difference. Is what I really believe.
I actually want to take, Samrid, I want to take the same question to you. And the reason I think I want to do that is because these days when you look at gifts, we've also, like there's greenwashing for brands, gifts also now it looks like they've learned how to pretend as if things are eco-conscious. So what I mean is, you'll have a wooden box that the gift has come in. There'll be other things like that, a lot of brown color used in the packaging, brown paper used in the packaging to hint at the idea that a brand is environmentally conscious. So Apurva, you've just told us look at certification. Samrid, other things that we can be looking at as customers?
So I think Apurva is spot on. Your certifications is one big thing, but the challenge becomes not all brands have the financial bandwidth to invest in these certifications because it's time-taking and it does require a lot of resources. What we do is provide transparency through communication. So we are completely transparent about the process that is used to manufacture what we make, where we source it from, the people who make it, and all of that. So that communication is constant. But yes, it is a major challenge, and there is a lot of greenwashing. For us, our biggest competitors are not always sustainable brands because those brands are actually part of a community. It is brands that claim to be sustainable, but are really not. And it is very challenging for a consumer to really figure out, whether something is genuinely sustainable or not. And I think that will only get better as awareness increases. And as individuals or consumers, people need to invest some time in doing their research and figuring out whether something is genuine or not, like Apurva was saying.
Yeah. I think we need a separate episode only on greenwashing. What is it? How to tell? All these tags and everything else. But Apurva, come in on another very important aspect of gifting and sustainable gifting, which is the cost. Now, over the years, we've seen that you end up paying more for making environmentally conscious choices. How do you ensure as an industry that these come down, they become affordable? Because that's the only way when somebody at a mass level will be able to access it, that's the only time you really solve the purpose.
Absolutely. I mean, as I said, we've been in the gifting space, sustainable gifting space for 4 5 years. We've had some learnings of our own, and we've realized that pricing, irrespective of sustainability, is a very key consideration for decision makers, whether it is retail buyers or whether it is corporate buyers. What we've sort of done is we've bifurcated those price points, and we know what offering we can give for a certain particular price point. And the one thing that we've sort of done is we take larger bets in terms of quantities, which helps us bring our costs down. That's one thing, and also our team essentially does, in my opinion, a decent job in communicating the value or the premium that we are sort of delivering, whether it is in the form of packaging or the aesthetic, whether it is in the form of the inclusions that go inside of it, or whether it is the overall experience, along with a little bit of, I would say, some sort of nice personal touches that we give inside the packaging, whether it is like a personal note, whether it is telling the story of the artisans behind it, etc. I think that's how we are able to bridge the gap of the price and the perceived value. So I feel that definitely is a challenge. And as an industry, we are not there yet in terms of figuring out the exact pricing mix so that we can go like absolutely on a mass level. But I think as we scale, we will be able to figure those things out as well. And the industry also will be much more accepting of, say, a 20-30% premium on regular gifting options, simply because the product has taken a lot of time to make, has taken a lot of effort to make. And it's not just sustainable. I honestly don't like the word sustainable purely because because it's sustainable you have to pay a 30-40%. No, it's because it took a lot of time. It's because it wasn't easy to make, and that's why we are asking you an additional cost and nothing more than that.
And
I just wanted to highlight, though, for our audiences that when we were reading and researching about both of your companies, one of the loveliest things was to discover just how caring you are for the people who are working on your products. The fact that you've really thought through that slow process for the people who are manufacturing it themselves. It's a process where you give them time, you allow them to work on one product at a time. We'd like to thank both of you for joining us. We've actually unfortunately run out of time. A happy Diwali to both of you. Apurva, Samrit, thank you for joining us. Okay, we're going to take you, our audiences, now. We hope we've gotten the cogs in your head sort of started turning on the idea of how to gift and how to give sustainably. Let's take you right now, though, to stories that are taking place in India and across the world. First, we're taking you straight over to South Korea. Researchers from the Mobile Robotics Lab in Seoul's National University of Science and Technology have developed a new aerial cargo transportation platform called Palatron. It can be controlled by direct human interaction while maintaining in-air stability. We're actually showing you visuals of it on your screens. As the name suggests, it's a combination of a cargo pallet and a multi-rotor drone. In effect, it's a flying shopping cart. The cargo can be placed on top of the pallet and moved around by applying gentle force even while walking on stairs. It's something that wasn't possible off a conventional cart, but it gives and opens a whole new world of possibilities when you go shopping.
Scientists in Colombia say that food could help protect bees' brains from pesticides. Now, they've considered essential for preserving natural ecosystem and producing food. But neurotoxins commonly used in agriculture can harm their motor system and memory as well. Multiple universities teamed up to create the formula.
And Walt Disney has named the former Morgan Stanley CEO James Gorman as their chairman. They've said it will appoint a new CEO in early 2026. The announcement sets the stage for succession at the storied media and entertainment company. Gorman he's already served as the CEO of Morgan Stanley for 14 years. He orchestrated a succession plan there in which all three candidates actually remained in the company. He'll become the chairman of Disney starting in January.
From Edward Scissorhands and Wednesday costumes to Beetlejuice and Cobb's Bride sketches, the exhibition opening in London on Friday delves into the fantastic world of US filmmaker Tim Burton. Held at the Design Museum, the world of Tim Burton showcases a range of objects, including some of the director's early childhood sketches to items from his latest productions. On show are drawings and figurines from Burton films like The Nightmare Before Christmas and The Cop's Bride, as well as costumes from movies including Sleepy Hollow and television series The Wednesday.
And next, these videos you're looking at on your screen right now, visuals coming in, as you can see, dogs in hot dog suits, Yankees jerseys paying homage in and to New York City. There are others that are attempting to look like a totally different animal for the day. The owner of one dog named Gremlin dressed him up as a former Yankees player, Derek Jeter. He expressed hopes that both New York teams will win their respective playoffs. So lots of lovely visuals coming in as this year marks the 31st anniversary of the annual parade in New York City.
Pop star Britney Spears is making headlines again, but this time it's not about a high-profile romance. The Toxic Singer, that's the song that she wrote, has taken self-love to a whole new level by marrying herself. Britney shared stunning pictures and video in a wedding dress, calling it the most brilliant thing she has ever done. In a bold move that's got everybody talking. We'll keep an eye on this story, but for now, it seems at the moment, Britney is happily wed to herself. All right, with that, we're going to slip into a break. Coming up on the other side, there are some vastu tips coming up for you this Diwali, how to harmonize your home, not just clean it, but also rebalance and rejoice it. Details in a moment from now.
Well, 24 hours have gone by and the person who had placed the bomb over here has still not been identified by the Delhi police. I'll just try and show you around in the visuals over here, the area in which the bomb blast happened. This is the area where the bomb blast happened, and if you look around from this entire area, on the other side are the eateries that are lined up over here, as you have been mentioning. Now all these shops are closed at this very point. Now remember, the impact was, this entire blast was such that there are broken windows that can be seen on the other side of the road as well. Now what Delhi police sources are telling us, that in the investigation that they have done or through the CCTV footage that they have been able to go through at this point in time, 3 people can be seen as suspects or have been identified as people of interest. One of them was a person who was seen at this very spot on Saturday night at approximately 10:30, 11 p.m. in the night. He was seen at this very spot, he waited at this spot and then went away from here. That person has not been identified at this point in time. Apart from that, 2 other people who were also seen in and around this entire area having suspicion movement. Now in the CCTV footages that have been gone through by the Delhi police at this point in time, these 3 people are being said as the persons of interest. However, the identification of either of these 3 people have still not happened, and the person or the perpetrator of this entire crime has still not been identified by the Delhi police. Once the investigation was taken over by the Delhi police or started by Delhi police yesterday, there was one person who was initially interrogated by them, and then eventually he was allowed to let go of as well. So definitely at this point in time, there is no substantial evidence that the Delhi police, or for that matter any other agency, be it the NSG or the CRPF, have been able to pinpoint as to who could be the person who might be behind this attack. Yes, there are different theories that are being looked into at this point in time as to what could be the reason for using a bomb which had actually such a high radius of impact that shops which are approximately 20 to 30 meters away from this spot, they have been impacted. But interestingly, in these bombs, there sharp objects, no sharpnels, no broken glass material that was put over here, because generally in bombs or IEDs that are used, such materials are being put into the bomb so that the entire bomb becomes more potent, so that once the explosion happens, then these objects, sharpnels and other things could actually go ahead and hurt people, and the impact of that blast could increase. But interestingly, in this explosion, there has been no sort of sharpnels or any other sharp objects that have been used. So was this entire blast done just to give some sort of a message? Is something that is being investigated. Apart from this, another thing that is being looked into is the Khalistani angle. Remember, one of the channels on Telegram, in fact, had posted this that this entire incident has been done by Khalistani supporters because the manner in which the attacks are happening on Khalistanis across the world. They wanted to give this message that Khalistanis are much closer to the Indian agencies that they expect. Now, if I could just show you over here, just moments ago, a team of CRPF had come over here. Remember, CRPF have this expertise when it comes to looking into ID blast because they are the people who are operating in places like Dantewada and other places in Chhattisgarh where there is a massive moist impact and there is a lot of IEDs that are being used. So over here there is also, it is being said that IEDs were used and hence a team of CRPF had come up over here. They have monitored the entire location over here. They have measured the size of impact that the bomb blast has made. Somewhere or the other they will try to figure out as to what is the quantity of explosives that were used over here and what kind of explosive was also used over here. Was it a highly technical IED or was it an IED that could have been made by anyone, is something that the CRPF will come out with. But at this point in time, as the investigation is going ahead, the biggest
Welcome back, and as we start our day, let's also take a look at the air quality in our neighborhood. The pollution levels are alarming. Mundka in Delhi tops the list. The AQI of 548, followed closely by Anand Vihar, which is at 438 this morning.
Right. Narela is reporting slightly better numbers. So we'll pull those up for you on your screen right now. Narela is at 258. Noida, which is where we are, and Gurugram, they're both faring relatively better. So you've got better numbers coming in from both of Delhi's neighbors, 186 and 201 respectively. Now these numbers continue to be a stark reminder of the challenges that we're going to be facing in the next few days, especially as Diwali is right around the corner. We urge you to stay away from bursting firecrackers. On TBC, we're also urging you to stay safe, stay informed, and if you have an N95 mask, please mask up in this moment. Breathe carefully through the rest of the day.
All right, so the air around you can't really clean, but what you can do this Diwali is at least ensure that the aura of the house is clean, your house is uncluttered, you are feeling uncluttered as well. So through this week in our festival season of sorts that we have for you, we'll be bringing stuff that you can talk about on the cosmic setting of this season. Now, TBC will get you a cosmic crash course of sorts in home renovation. What are we talking about? Well, as we count down to Diwali, the festival of lights, we're not just dusting off our diyas and digging out our favorite sweets, we're also giving our homes a much needed makeover. From mirror placement to water feature wisdom, we'll uncover the secrets to harmonize our space and amplify those good positive vibes.
Right, we're calling in the expert. We've got on the show with us this morning Dr. Jai Madan. She's a renowned astrologer and motivational speaker. She'll share vastu tips, essential repairs that you can do to make before Diwali around the house. Let's go over to her to understand more. Dr. Jai, thank you for joining us once again right here on The Breakfast Club. Just tell our audiences, Dr. Jai, anyone who's watching in this moment, what are the basics first? Lay that out for us. So what does Vastu say are the ways we should go about making sure the space we're in has the right energy this Diwali?
So good morning everyone. Diwali is not just festival of lights, it's also festival of new beginnings. We do, our books are written again in the Indian customs. You do puja of your accounting books. So this is also a financial beginning. Now when we say finances, your homes, your offices are the the institutions that take care of your finances, your work area, also your home, because that's where you come back, retire and accumulate your wealth also. So there are certain things that we need to understand in the matters of, what exactly the universe is trying to tell you. A lot of times we see that we have little seepage in the home. When you have issues of seepage, That means the planet moon of yours is not working well, which is also the planet of liquidity. Liquidity should be always flowing. If it is disturbing the environment, it also shows that it is going to give you liquid cash crunch. Nature has its own subtle way of talking to us. It's just that if we are sensitive enough, we can always hear it. Why home? And why home is represented with what is going to happen to you. Your house is nothing but extension of your subconscious mind. You go to a store and you pick up something for your home for decoration, maybe a vase, a painting, artifact, whatever. You see hundreds of things, select one or two and then bring it to a specific corner of your home, because that's exactly where your subconscious is related to it. Anybody who can read homes, who can read mind, can come to your home, check out things and exactly tell you what kind of person you are, what are your preferences and what is happening in your life. So seepage reflects that you have issues with your cash crunch. Now also the electricity board of your home, wherever the electricity point of the house is, it's very jumbled up, the wires are knotted in a bad way, it's drooping here and there, it's not organized, it's not systematic. It also reflects anger issues in the house. It reflects that people usually shout at each other, there's lack of understanding, it's more irritation factor that is running in the house, because that represents bad energy of Mars. Now when we see there are kids in the house and everything is like all over scattered, you know, the toys are broken, it's here and there, it's scattered all over, sometimes in the living area, in the dining area, you see a little bit of toys here and there. That reflects bad energy of Mercury in the house. Now in that case, people have not great communication with each other and also with the world outside. You need to sort that out. It's not just festival of light, it is also about cleanliness. You know, there's a saying about Mahalakshmi, the goddess of wealth, that she comes and stays in a place which is absolutely clean, calm, silent. That's how wealth actually develops and grows. Now there's another important thing that you need to take care of. People who are very fond of books and they have scattered books everywhere, next to the bedside, the bookshelf, here and there. One is where it's part of your decor and you've nicely placed it everywhere. The second part is that it's scattered all over. In case it's scattered all over, your Jupiter is not working in great way, which is the planet of wisdom, where you're not able to use your intellect to the best of its caliber. Everything is like scattered, it's all over the place. You need to bring it to more organized way. Another important thing for Diwali this year is, before I come to other planets, is that 9 planets are very powerful, but more than them, what is really powerful are 27 nakshatras, which are all over the planets. This year on Diwali, move 27 objects in your home, and it could be any objects that you've not moved over an year, like just shift your sofa a bit, shift your little bit of your dining table, your office desk, a little bit of your bed, even if it's 3 centimeters, doesn't matter, but just bring movement so that things that are stuck in your life start getting little bit of movement in life. Another thing that you need to be careful of,
Dr. Madan,
is
if I
what are you actually
I'm just
doing?
interrupting because I just want another aspect of it actually cleared out. By the way, you're looking absolutely lovely and early in the morning looking all Diwali ready. So thank you so much for putting in the effort for all our viewers this morning. But I want to understand this. Well, thank you. So, the other aspect that I want to understand about Diwali is the cleaning of the homes, the painting of the house, uncluttering of the spaces is what everybody does. A lot of a sense of Diwali actually comes from cleaning and cleansing your mind and body, ensuring that you are more centered, you have more clarity of thought, as you rightly said, you get into a new year. How does one ensure that is also followed in this rut of Diwali season and parties and get-togethers that one has going around?
See, Diwali is not just about the physical part of it, which you're doing with your home cleaning and beautifying yourself. It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, and it's also spiritual. Now, talking about the mental part of it, you need to pick up at least, because this is a year of Saturn, pick up 8 people in your life that you just fell apart or you're hurt with or you have issues with. Start giving them call one by one and start communicating. Now this is going to emotionally unwind you so much. It's going to uplift you so much. Now about the mental things. There's so many things
That's
that we
nice.
feel that we are not able to achieve. Let's talk about the art of manifestation this Diwali. Using different colors, bring up a different alignment to yourself. So colors that are favorable for you, which is very easy to determine if you know your lucky number. You know your lucky number by what is your date of birth, bringing it down to one number. Using correct colors for yourself, using correct numbers for yourself, you increase the power of manifestation. And you know, once you start manifesting something, even if it's little bit, you start enjoying it because you see the power around you, power in you. Also, spiritual cleansing and spiritual cleaning is very important, as you rightly said. I believe that cleaning of your aura and cleaning of your energy of your home, your surroundings is also very important. What we can do for spiritual cleansing is that you need to pick up 5 things that work very well for cleansing. Sea salt, because it's a cleansing factor. It cleanses your body, your energy level. Add little cardamom to it, cinnamon, cloves and camphor. Now these 5 objects with the beauty of their fragrance and the energy levels they have, cleanse your aura and the aura of your home, because there's so many people coming, somebody with, you know, maybe sometimes evil eye also coming inside the homes. Just take this whole thing in an earthen pot, because earth takes away all the energy. It absorbs everything that we give it to her. Rotate it in the house, standing in the center of the house, and rotate it over everybody, every member of your family. Go outside the house, thanks to the camphor in it, you can light it and all the negativity that get absorbed get cleansed. So that you're able to think better, you're able to comprehend better. Diwali, it's the darkest night of the year. That's the time you need to meditate a lot. That is why all the pujas are done at night, so that there's no disturbance and you're able to connect to your higher self.
Dr. Jay,
it's not just about wealth.
Dr.
It's
Jay,
about
we've
the inner wealth as
unfortunately
well.
run out of time, but you've made so many beautiful points. I particularly love the point you made about the importance of reaching out to the people you love in this moment. To you, our TBC family, you've got quite a few days for Diwali to actually come. Give that call, pick up the call to your relatives, to your friends, reconnect with them. Dr. Jay, that's a beautiful message to leave our audiences with. We'll keep connecting with you through the week to understand more about what it is our audiences can do to keep their spaces, their lives, and as Sonal said, your aura clean. Let's head into a quick break. On the other side of the break, we are shifting focus entirely, taking you from Diwali to Hollywood and Hollywood glamour. We have the eye on the Kardashian sisters, but also other celebrities who were on the Academy Museum Gala red carpet in the United States. We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes.
Well, 24 hours have gone by and the person who had placed the bomb over here has still not been identified by the Delhi police. I'll just try and show you around in the visuals over here, the area in which the bomb blast happened. This is the area where the bomb blast happened, and if you look around from this entire area, on the other side are the eateries that are lined up over here, as you have been mentioning. Now all these shops are closed at this very point. Now remember, the impact was, this entire blast was such that there are broken windows that can be seen on the other side of the road as well. Now what Delhi police sources are telling us, that in the investigation that they have done or through the CCTV footage that they have been able to go through at this point in time, 3 people can be seen as suspects or have been identified as people of interest. One of them was a person who was seen at this very spot on Saturday night at approximately 10:30, 11 p.m. in the night. He was seen at this very spot, he waited at this spot and then went away from here. That person has not been identified at this point in time. Apart from that, 2 other people who were also seen in and around this entire area having suspicion movement. Now in the CCTV footages that have been gone through by the Delhi police at this point in time, these 3 people are being said as the persons of interest. However, the identification of either of these 3 people have still not happened, and the person or the perpetrator of this entire crime has still not been identified by the Delhi police. Once the investigation was taken over by the Delhi police or started by Delhi police yesterday, there was one person who was initially interrogated by them, and then eventually he was allowed to let go of as well. So definitely at this point in time, there is no substantial evidence that the Delhi police, or for that matter any other agency, be it the NSG or the CRPF, have been able to pinpoint as to who could be the person who might be behind this attack. Yes, there are different theories that are being looked into at this point in time as to what could be the reason for using a bomb which had actually such a high radius of impact that shops which are approximately 20 to 30 meters away from this spot, they have been impacted. But interestingly, in these bombs, there sharp objects, no sharpnels, no broken glass material that was put over here, because generally in bombs or IEDs that are used, such materials are being put into the bomb so that the entire bomb becomes more potent, so that once the explosion happens, then these objects, sharpnels and other things could actually go ahead and hurt people, and the impact of that blast could increase. But interestingly, in this explosion, there has been no sort of sharpnels or any other sharp objects that have been used. So was this entire blast done just to give some sort of a message, is something that is being investigated. Apart from this, another thing that is being looked into is the Khalistani angle. Remember, one of the channels on Telegram in fact had posted this, that this entire incident has been done by Khalistani supporters, because the manner in which the attacks
Welcome back. Now moving on to a story from Microsoft that will now allow its consumers and its customers to build autonomous artificial intelligence agents from next month itself.
Right, we talk so much about AI right here on the Breakfast Club. What we're seeing right now is the latest push, this one by Microsoft. They're hoping to tap this booming technology amid growing, continuing investor scrutiny of all of its AI investments. Take a look. This is a Reuters report.
Microsoft will allow its customers to build autonomous artificial intelligence agents from next month. It's part of the company's latest push to tap the booming technology amid increasing investor scrutiny of its hefty investments in AI. These so-called autonomous agents are programs that need little human intervention, unlike chatbots. And the company is branding them as apps for an AI-driven world that can handle client queries, identify sales leads, and manage inventory. Microsoft said its customers can use program Copilot Studio to create such agents in public preview from November. It's using several AI models developed both in-house and by OpenAI for these agents. Rivals like Salesforce have also touted the potential of such tools, which some analysts say could provide tech giants with an easier path to monetizing the billions of dollars they're pouring into AI. That's as many of them face pressure to show returns on these investments. Some concerns have risen in recent months about the pace of Microsoft's Copilot adoption. Microsoft shares fell 2.8% in the September quarter, but remain more than 10% higher for the year.
Okay, and now we're going to take you from technology to the roads. If you're in the market for a new family SUV, especially because it's Diwali time, you are in luck. Today we're comparing 3 of the most popular options that are out there for your family. So we're going to be taking a look at the Hyundai Creta, the Honda Elevate and the Volkswagen. And which one you should be going out for, that's what we're taking a look at.
Our friends at Overdrive have put these SUVs to the test, comparing everything from performance and handling to features and safety. From city driving to road trips, which SUV will prove to be the perfect fit for your family? Here's the report.
So if you have a 20 lakh budget to keep to but still want that full SUV experience, then the Hyundai Creta and the Honda Elevate with their naturally aspirated engines and CVT powertrains should be quite high on your list.
But if excitement and thrill is still high on your list of priorities, I believe this Volkswagen Tiguan 1-litre turbo seems to have you covered better off. But which one of these is your best option?
There are 2 varying approaches these cars take to bring you that SUV experience at a more affordable price point that might make sense for a wide section of people. The Hyundai Creta and Honda Elevate go the naturally aspirated route, both using 1.5-litre engines with CVTs. While the Volkswagen Tiguan, still preserving its driver-focused theme, uses a 1-litre turbo paired with a torque converter. The Elevate is the most powerful here at 121 PS, while the Taigun has the most torque with the turbo at 178 Nm. It and the Creta make 115 PS, while the naturally aspirated Honda and Hyundai make a very similar 144 to 145 Nm. Now driving these three cars together and with the Elevate, the first thing that you notice is just how much of it feels like an SUV. It's the most convincing in this regard, and that's mainly down to how you're seated. Now you sit quite high up, the highest of the three cars here it feels like at least. But more importantly, it's the view out. You have this expansive view from the bonnet just flowing out in front of you. It's very easy to place the car in traffic. Now the Creta is not too far behind in that regard, to be honest. So you still have a similar sensation. That wide sort of width of it really helps. You do see the bonnet, but yeah, it still feels more like an SUV than the Taigun. Now the Taigun, you don't sit any lower than these two cars here, so in that respect it's not all that different, but just its more compact dimensions, especially in this company, that also makes it easy to use in a way. But yeah, maybe a slightly expansive view out front would have sort of helped its case a bit more. Now it's not surprising, considering the engine configuration, that broadly the driving experience between the Creta and the Elevate is quite similar. But again, there are some noticeable differences. Now with the Creta, the first thing that you notice is the refinement. It really is a step above the other two here, and you really do feel like you're in a car that may be a class above theirs. For example, right now I can't exactly hear the engine, it's just near silent inside here. Now where the Elevate scores is in its power outputs. Now it has that 5 or 6 horsepower more than the Creta, but off the line it's a bit more energetic. The Creta is a bit more subdued. You need to give it some revs before it picks up pace. But with the Honda that's not the case. It's quite sprightly. So again, in stop-go situations it makes it a bit easier to just maneuver, which the Creta you need to be a bit more aware of when the engine will really start to sort of kick in. In our real-world performance numbers, there's not much to choose between these cars. They all do the 0 to 100 sprint in around 11 seconds and are nearly identical in their rolling acceleration times. But the Elevate, unsurprising for a Honda, has a good step up in performance over 3500 RPM. It feels happier to be revved out than the Creta, which does get useful in higher speed situations. Although the Hyundai does better with a more linear mid-range that works better in flowing traffic.
So at 385 litres, the Taigun's boot is not that big. You have a slightly raised up floor, it's not a flat floor, so you have to carry stuff up, and the stretch is not that long enough to store stuff inside, but you can still put about 3 bags inside. Good enough for a road trip. But let me show you the Creta's. Now the Creta's boot is by far the most functional. It's a big opening, you have a flat floor, it's long, you can store stuff inside. It's about 433 litres, and you get some nice pockets on the side as well to store small stuff. But the biggest boot here is the Honda Elevate. It's more than 450 litres. The lip is slightly high, it's not a flat floor, but it's long enough, you can store stuff quite easily, very well for a 4-person road trip.
In a segment full of cars that many call jacked up hatches, the Elevate styling is a fresh take. It is simple but effective, helped by the fact that it is the longest and tallest car here. The clean lighting and oversized grille give it that proper SUV stance, and the bodywork draws a fine line between feeling contemporary but not shouty. It's also got a smart rear, but we would have liked a full LED cluster in this comparison. The Creta is wider and has more immediate flash with the full width lighting motifs and oversized grille. This facelift continues to make the bodywork slightly disjointed, but the Creta draws back ground with the limited chrome and the sharp black panel for the rear lighting. The Taigun does look notably smaller in this midst, but like the Elevate, there's a sense this will continue to look smart for longer. Volkswagen has jacked up presence with the heavy chrome, but we prefer the more discreet look of some of the new GT variants better.
All right, now moving on from cars and bikes to the red carpet, and this one is coming to us straight away from Hollywood. Now, over the last few days, decked up pictures of Hollywood A-listers at the Academy Museum Gala have been sort of all around our timelines. We are looking at a lot of mid-year sort of Met Gala as well in terms of fashion A-game. We also saw each and every one of them bring on that to the red carpet.
Right, these visuals look as if they're coming from the Met Gala, and that's not true. This event that we're talking about right now is a fundraiser, so it is like the Met Gala in that way. It's a fundraiser for a cultural institution, but in this case, the institution in question is the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. Among all of the stars, the visuals we're going to be talking about today, Kim Kardashian, Kendall Jenner and Kylie Jenner. So the Kardashian sisters dazzling, a whole lot of sisterly love. Shosha brings you the breakdown of their looks. Take a look.
Glitz, glamour and a dash of sisterly love. What a combo, right? Just recently, as a part of a memorable night, the Kardashian-Jenner sisters, Kim, Kendall and Kylie, made a stunning appearance at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures annual gala in Los Angeles. The glamorous sisters hobnobbed with some of the biggest Hollywood stars at the prestigious event. And they managed to give every single A-lister there a run for their money. So let's take time to decode their looks. Let's start with the big sister first, Kim Kardashian, who has frequently slayed Mugler's designs on the red carpet, including her memorable 2019 Met Gala appearance, again opted for the iconic fashion house. But this time, she chose a chic white Mugler corset, elegantly paired with a draped robe coat and nude heels. Her vintage theory Mugler white corset looked super classy and over the top. We loved her look. But we have similar feelings for her sister Kylie's look too. Kylie Jenner also opted for a vintage Mugler design, featuring a sleek gown that expertly balanced freedom and flair. The fitted nude slip dress paired with a flowing black skirt overlay highlighted her silhouette while embracing a clean, architectural aesthetic. The highlight of this ensemble was the daring mock thong cutouts at the hips. Clearly, Mugler's vintage charm has captured the hearts of both sisters. Meanwhile, Kendall Jenner turned heads on the red carpet in a stunning scaparelli black couture gown featuring a halter neckline and bold cutout detailing. She looked amazeballs. Well, at the event, other stars including Nicole Kidman, Demi Moore, Selena Gomez and Ariana Grande also dazzled in their most exquisite ensembles. Now, you tell us, which Kardashian sisters slayed the hardest?
Okay, let's take you now straight to a special section on financial markets. It's powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's take a look first at markets. As we speak, GIFT Nifty is trending. All of the trends are indicating a muted opening for Indian stock markets. US stock indices closed lower. This is as investors were cautious ahead of earnings of major companies coming out at this time. Asian stock markets, as we speak, were lower. They're tracking the losses in US equities. Crude oil prices are softening in morning trade. Middle East tensions continue to wane.
Let's look at the sector in focus this morning, and cement demand has been hurt by the events such as excessive rainfall in pockets, sand shortages, labour availability and delays in new project announcement. Now, barring the north, rural demand has been weak across the other markets as well. Competitive headwinds, slowdown in project execution and onset of monsoon season has negatively impacted the cement prices. However, softer raw material prices may provide some respite, although adverse demand-supply situation may continue to weigh in on the sector. You can log in to Money Control Pro to find out more about what's in store for India's cement sector and various other actionable insights on the markets. It is a premier destination for all the investing views and financial insights you will ever need, brought to you by Money Control. All right, with that, it's a wrap on today's edition. We've covered for you gifting today. Tomorrow is going to be the turn of what we all love to do this festival season, which is redecorating our homes. So home decor hacks this festive season. That's what coming up tomorrow. We'll see you at 8.
Goodbye. See you tomorrow.
Where 24 hours have gone by and the person who had placed the bomb over here has still not been identified by the Delhi police. I'll just try and show you around in the visuals over here. The area in which the bomb blast happened. This is the area where the bomb blast happened, and if you look around from this entire area, on the other side are the lines, are the eateries that are lined up over here, as you have been mentioning. Now all these shops are closed at this very point. Now remember, the impact was, this entire blast was such that there are broken windows that can be seen on the other side of the road as well. Now what Delhi police sources are telling us, that in the investigation that they have done or through the CCTV footage that they have been able to go through at this point in time, 3 people can be seen as suspects or have been identified as people of interest. One of them was a person who was seen at this very spot on Saturday night at approximately 10:30, 11 p.m. in the night. He was seen at this very spot, he waited at this spot and then went away from here. That person has not been identified at this point in time. Apart from that, 2 other people who were also seen in and around this entire area having suspicion movement. Now in the CCTV footages that have been gone through by the Delhi police at this point in time, these 3 people are being said as the persons of interest. However, the identification of either of these 3 people have still not happened, and the person or the perpetrator of this entire crime has still not been identified by the Delhi police. Once the investigation was taken over by the Delhi police or started by Delhi police yesterday, there was one person who was initially interrogated by them, and then eventually he was allowed to let go of as well. So definitely at this point in time, there is no substantial evidence that the Delhi police, or for that matter any other agency, be it the NSG or the CRPF, have been able to pinpoint as to who could be the person who might be behind this attack. Yes, there are different theories that are being looked into at this point in time as to what could be the reason for using a bomb which had actually such a high radius of impact that shops which are approximately 20 to 30 meters away from this spot, they have been impacted. But interestingly, in these bombs there were sharp objects, no sharp nails, no broken glass material that was put over here, because generally in bombs or IEDs that are used, such materials are being put into the bomb so that the entire bomb becomes more potent, so that once the explosion happens, then these objects, sharp nails and other things, could actually go ahead and hurt people, and the impact of that blast could increase. But interestingly, in this explosion, there has been no sort of sharp nails or any other sharp objects that have been used. So was this entire blast done just to give some sort of a message, is something that is being investigated. Apart from this, another thing that is being looked into is the Khalistani angle. Remember, one of the channels on Telegram in fact had posted this, that this entire incident has been done by Khalistani supporters, because the manner in which the attacks are happening on Khalistanis across the world, they wanted to give this message that Khalistanis are much closer to the Indian agencies that they expect. Now, if I could just show you over here, just moments ago, a team of CRPF had come over here. Remember, CRPF have this expertise when it comes to looking into ID blasts, because they are the people who are operating in places like Dantewada and other places in Chhattisgarh where there is a massive Maoist impact and there is a lot of IEDs that are being used. So over here, there is also, it is being said that IEDs were used, and hence a team of CRPF had come up.
Hello and good morning. Thank you for watching CNN News 18. I'm Shen Elizabeth Matthew. Now let's begin this bulletin with the top news this hour, which is the departure statement that has been put out by the Prime Minister's office. Now this is regarding Prime Minister's visit to Russia for BRICS summit, and he said, and I quote, "I'm departing today on a 2-day visit to Kazan to attend the 16th BRICS summit. India values the close cooperation within BRICS, which has emerged as an important platform for dialogue and discussion on issues concerning the global developmental agenda, reformed multilateralism, climate change, economic cooperations, building resilient supply chains, promoting cultural and people-to-people connect, among others. Now, the expansion of BRICS with the addition of new members last year has added to its inclusivity and agenda for the global good. So this is the statement before deplaning for Russia for the BRICS summit. This is the statement that has in fact been put out by Prime Minister Modi, where he has in fact said that India values the close cooperation within BRICS, which has emerged as an important platform for dialogue and discussion on issues. Now, this is going to be a very crucial visit of Prime Minister Modi. Let me now go across to my colleague Siddhant Mishra. Siddhant, good morning. Tell us what is really on agenda today, and this is going to be a very interesting BRICS summit, considering how there is in fact a petroleum agreement that has been reached between India and China. So is there a possibility of a bilateral talks in the BRICS summit between India and China? Has this something that has been confirmed by the Foreign Secretary?
Important for India, and perhaps Russia is hosting 16th BRICS summit in Kazan. It all started way back in 90s when Russia came up with the proposal of Troika between India, China and Russia. Gradually, it transformed into BRICS. Perhaps the first foreign ministers meet happened on the sidelines of UNGA. Then Brazil came into the picture, South Africa came. And in fact, last year, BRICS have finally expanded the membership, and now the 5 other countries are also the member of the BRICS. The BRICS is seen as the counterweight to G7. India's position is that BRICS is not anti-Western, it's non-Western. And perhaps, almost all BRICS leaders agree to what India says. Now, Prime Minister Modi is en route Kazan. Today, we could expect, Sharon, that he will hold, or perhaps that is on his schedule, he will hold bilateral meeting with President Putin, a very important one because it's his first bilateral meeting with President Putin after visiting Ukraine, after visiting America. Perhaps both leaders will sit down to discuss bilateral issues between the two countries. The peace in Europe would perhaps be the main talking point between the two leaders, because India is contributing to the peace talks. Also, promotion and shooting of Indian movies in Russia could also come up for the discussion between the two leaders, as President Putin the other day touched upon the shooting of Indian films and how Indian films are popular in Russia. Both leaders will also discuss the other bilateral issues, which includes defense, trade, etc. As far as BRICS is concerned, Sharon, this time the new members will be included in the BRICS in the BRICS grouping. Perhaps that process will take place. BRICS plus Outreach Summit will separately take place, where 40 other countries are going to participate. From India, EM S. Jaishankar will be present for that. Prime Minister, yes, coming to your first question, Prime Minister is expected to meet Xi Jinping, but there has not been any confirmation from the either side. But the way Foreign Secretary announced yesterday that both countries have reached a patrolling agreement, perhaps paves the way for this meeting. In fact, Chinese Foreign Ministry is also tight-lipped on the meet, and Indian side is also tight-lipped on the meet. Prime Minister has slots for the bilateral meeting, and if this meet happens, Sharon, then perhaps this would be the first time both leaders would meet after 2019, before the Galwan skirmish. And the patrol agreement is perhaps groundbreaking. The issues were in Despang and Demchok areas of Ladakh, and more than 51 meetings took place at the co-commander level and through diplomatic channels. And in fact, the final push was given by External Affairs Minister Jaishankar and NSA Ajit Doval during their meeting with Wang Yi on the sidelines of multilateral events. And the contours and the process design of the agreements is still not available with us, but largely it's going to allow both sides to patrol with the limited personnel. Both sides needs to inform each other before the patrol, and both sides can do the patrol to the areas where they used to do before 2020. So it's like a status quo ante. This is what we have been told. Prime Minister will also hold bilateral meetings with the other countries. Even there are talks that he could also sit down with President Erdogan, but that looks very unlikely because the schedule of Prime Minister Modi and Erdogan are different, and he is arriving tomorrow and Prime Minister is departing tomorrow. Back to you.
Siddhant, I request you to stay with us as we are getting more breaking input on this very story, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit Russia's Kazan today for the 16th BRICS summit. Now, during this visit, he is expected to hold bilateral meetings with leaders from BRICS members countries and invited guests. Now, the theme of this year's summit is strengthening multilateralism for just global development and security. This marks Prime Minister Modi's second visit to Russia in a year, following his 22nd trip for the 22nd India-Russia annual summit. Now, New Delhi's agenda at BRICS summit includes discussion on economic cooperation, security issues and sustainable development goals. Now, as global challenges mount, this summit aims to build stronger multilateral ties among emerging economies.